Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that comes up quite a lot, and that is what makes a good build in Elder Scrolls Online for tanking. Now, while you could go and watch a 20 to 40 minute video such as those on my channel, I understand that part of the fun, at least for me, is actually coming up with my own build, experimenting and seeing which skills work best. With that said then, we're going to talk about the video as if we're ticking off a tick box for each skill. As far as the skill options we have, of course we have 5 ability slots on the front bar with 1 ultimate, and that's mirrored on the back, meaning in total 10 general use abilities with 2 ultimate abilities. Let's first talk about what we really need to ensure our tank build is performing well. Now of course, first off, it's going to be the Taunts, there's no surprise there. And that is Pierce Armor, which I highly recommend using, and is really a necessary skill. And likewise Inner Rage, so you have both a single target ranged taunt and a single target melee taunt. Following up with that, every tank build should have 1 self shield and 1 self heal, so that you can both anticipate damage incoming to prevent it and help your healer out, and also heal up any extra damage that maybe your healer can't heal off you if perhaps they're healing another member of the group. As far as options for that are concerned, you should really try and prioritize your self shields based on if they also help out the group. For DK, the choice is actually pretty straightforward though, as Igneous Shields both shield yourself and your group, making it an excellent option. If you're playing a class that has a class self-shield that is more sort of focused on helping yourself out, such as Sorcerer or Templar, don't be afraid to use it as it can be quite strong, but just keep in mind it's more of a selfish choice. However, maybe Bone Shield might be a better choice then, as Bone Shield in the skill line here, in the Undaunted line, is also going to offer a synergy to your allies, which when it is synergized is going to provide the group with a little bit of a damage shield, and I say a little bit, it's 60% of their max HP, that's quite significant, so do consider that as an option. And when it comes to your heals likewise, look at your class heals. If it's a really strong class heal, do not worry about it being selfish. Go ahead and use that as it can really help your group out just by making you less stressed to heal and also making you more independent from the group, which is always a great aspect to have, especially in harder content. However, if you are looking for that extra layer of heal support, you can consider abilities like Vigor or even something like Necrotic Orb. Though these abilities are more in a flexible slot, I would say, than a self-heal slot, as they don't quite do enough for you individually. Moving on from that, we have our taunt set up, we have our self-shield and also our self-heal. That's 4 slots used and now 6 remaining. The next ability I really think is required is Heroic Slash, and this is because Minor Maim is an amazing utility ability both for reducing damage to yourself but also to the group as far as AoE raid mechanics are concerned. Couple that with Minor Heroism, which gives you ultimate, which allows you to then buff the group or defend yourself, depending on which ultimate you're using. Realistically, Heroic Slash can never be left out of a build in my opinion, as it's too good all around and it really is a complete package ability. From there, what else is really required general use wise? Well, there's only a couple more things I'd really recommend having as an absolute must. First off is a chain ability, and this is so you can stack adds in. Now, while chains won't always be useful in, say, some trial content where chains isn't useful, or maybe just on a boss, because obviously it's not going to be used to pull the boss in, they're going to be on top of you and standing still most of the time. It is, generally speaking, very, very good to have, and so generally you will have this on your bar. Following that up, in a similar idea, you want some crowd control. And while 2 crowd control abilities can be nice, I'd say at minimum have 1. And that can either be an immobilization or a stun effect. So in this case, Choking Talons, or maybe something like Bolt Streak for your Sorcerer, or perhaps even a Psijic skill line ability, such as your Time Stop ability here. With that said then, let's think about how many skill slots we have left open. So we have our 2 Taunts, we have our 2 crowd control-ish abilities, leaving us then, that's a total of 4. We then have our self-shield and our self-heal, that's up to 6. And then we have Heroic Slash at 7. After that then, we have 3 abilities to play with, and this is where you can really make your build unique. In my case, I've went with Structured Entropy to boost up my max health, which scales nicely with Igneous Shields, both for a selfish shield, for myself, but also for the group as well. In addition to that, I've also have abilities here, Balance, which is giving me my Major Resolve, Major Ward, and while in some content you can kind of get away with not having this major buff, it really is sort of a required aspect to have a major resolve and major ward source in most of your tanking builds. The only reason I've left this ability here really is because there's so many flexible options when it comes to how you want to get this provided to you. There are armor skill lines that provide it, there are also ways of getting it through the Mages Guild, and on top of that your class abilities, And if none of that is satisfying you, you can even consider taking it out of your ability bar and using Mighty Chudan to provide that source. So that, in its sense, an essential but also flexible. Moving on from there, our other flexible slot, well, it can be something like your Blockade of Frost to freeze an enemy down, and also to slow them and to apply your weapon debuff, but you can also consider other aspects like Elemental Drain, for example, to provide your group of Minor Magicka Steel. And this is especially useful if your healer's not using it, or if you're using a 3 DPS 1 tank setup. In addition to that, you can also consider augmenting some of your healing a little bit more, going back to say the Undaunted line. Necrotic Orb morphed into Healing Orb is an amazing ability. Or even Sanguine Altar can be used, which is going to be a great source of minor lifesteal, which is a very nice way of passively healing your group, and the bonus of this ability is a 46-second duration, meaning you can put it down and almost forget for a little bit, which is always nice. Before moving on to the ultimate ability discussion, also keep in mind that there is more flexibility with your crowd control abilities, as if you are doing a boss fight where there's not many adds, you can replace those and put in more group support, more utility. Really, it's up to you, yeah? Whatever you like and whatever you think will help augment your tank build to make it that much better. Finally, let's finish off by talking about ultimates quickly. I would recommend dividing the ultimates into a defensive-ish ultimate, and then your group buff support ultimate, and pretty much always, Aggressive Horn is going to be your group support ultimate regardless of the content you're doing, it's just that strong. However, on your front bar you have a lot of flexibility. I'm using Reviving Barrier here for some group heals and also self-survivability, but if I was in harder content I could consider Magma Shell if I really needed to just worry about myself, and the bonus of that ability obviously is it also provides nearby allies with a damage shield too. Other options include Negate for Sorcerer, which is a great way of CCing enemies. I'm not saying allies, it's not PvP. Wait, even if it was, you couldn't CC allies. Well, regardless of that, we'll move on. Yeah, basically you can consider any utility ultimate here as a great option, and if it does support the group, excellent. If not, once again, feel free to be a little bit selfish. With that said then, I hope that's a really quick introduction for you into building your own build, and really the rest of it is up to you at this point. I've given you the kind of key abilities, your taunts, your self-shield, your self-heal, as well as some crowd control, and your buffs, and then I've left the rest up to you. So thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel, I really appreciate it, and of course I'd love to hear about your tank builds in the comments down below. Until next time guys, bye bye and take care.